Hello, this is Todd Schenk with Premier FPL doing the Gameweek 26 FPL tips. For this week, I'm going to be targeting 3 players for each position other than goalkeeper. I tend to leave the goalkeeper out primarily due to prices, and it's typically a set and forget sort of position. After reviewing different positions, I will be doing a bit of a discussion on upcoming fixtures, as well as captain's picks, and then wrapping up with some of the top players transferred in and out for this week. Alright, so let's jump right into the Game Week 26 tips here. Starting out with defenders, first one I have up is Matt Ritchie. Now, I know that there are several other options that are much cheaper as far as defenders go for Newcastle, but I do like a lot of his underlying stats, and at 0.2% ownership, a clear differential. The only issue is the 5.3 price tag. A little bit pricey, but in the past 3 game weeks, he has picked up a total of 13 points. But some of the big things that looking at are he does have 6 chances created, 4 successful corners, and he's also completed 4 successful crosses out of a total of 19. So he is getting crosses in. The only problem is Newcastle not really scoring goals. But if they do start to score goals, he is definitely somebody to consider. Looking at some of their upcoming fixtures, Newcastle might be a great one to target. They are also one of the teams that is likely to continue to play for most of the rest of this season. So a good team to kind of look at especially as far as differentials go moving forward. All right, moving on. The next pick I have here is Matt Targett. Again, another great differential, only 0.9% ownership. Great price tag at 4.4. Again, Burnley's his points are mixed, and a lot of that does have to do with Burnley. But again, a lot of his underlying statistics looking good. 3 chances created. I should say these are in the last 2 game weeks. So taking a look at all of these statistics for the last 2 game weeks, 3 chances created, completed 3 out of 14 crosses. Also has some good fixtures coming up with Southampton away, Bournemouth at home, and then Newcastle away. So not too bad as far as what they have coming up in the next few fixtures outside of this game week against Spurs. Alright, moving on to the next one up here is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. 13.6% ownership is largely due to the popularity of Manchester United around the globe, and anytime a player starts to do well, they're going to get picked up. Not to mention, I think there's still a lot of dead teams out there that have him based on how he did last year and his how they thought he was going to do. But he has picked things up in the last couple of game weeks. And I would say for me, he does kind of pass the eye test in recent weeks. He's been doing a lot better with crosses. Looks a lot better as an attacking threat. He does have 1 big chance created, 6 chances created, and had completed 3 out of his last 12 crosses in the last 2 game weeks. So looking a lot better as far as attacking threat goes. And if they're able to start to clamp teams down, he should be able to do much better overall. Again, here, Chelsea away is not bad. Watford at home, Everton away. Decent fixtures there. Some of these matches might be blanks coming up, but a good one to look at targeting. Again, one of the other issues there is his price tag, and ownership is a little bit high, but again, depending on how Manchester United plays, he could be a good one to bring in. Alright, next one up for midfield here. On the higher end as far as price goes is Heung-min Son, but still, a lot of decent fixtures coming up. Has done well in the past several matches as well. Here, 2 goals scored in the last 2. Along with that, he does have 7 goal attempts and 5 shots inside the box. Upcoming fixtures looking good. I think he is a good solid pick in midfield. Not a bad differential. 9.5% is still above kind of the differential point, but 9.5% ownership is still pretty decent. Might be worth looking at some of the combinations out there to see how well he might do for you. Next up is Aaron Moy, clear differential at 0.8% ownership. 4.8 price tag for a midfielder is quite good as well. Looking at his last couple of fixtures, hasn't picked up a whole lot of points, but I will say his underlying statistics are good. 2 big chances created, 5 chances created, 7 goal attempts, and a goal in the last 2. So not bad underlying statistics. Again, 4.8, you kind of get what you pay for with that one. Next up is Jordan Henderson. Great differential pick, really good price tag for a Liverpool midfielder that has turned things on basically since Mane has gone out, but really kind of stepped up. 6 chances created, 4 goal attempts, 2 goals in the last 2. So looking pretty good as far as a midfielder goes there, and able to give you some extra coverage for Liverpool midfield with some of these really great matches coming up. I'll get more into some of the upcoming blanks, but that is something to look out for with Liverpool advancing in the FA Cup. Moving on to forwards, first one here is Dominic Calvert-Lewin with Everton. 11% ownership is above differential. 6.1 is a good price tag. So good points in the last few fixtures. Has 2 big chances created, 1 goal and 7 goal attempts. Decent fixtures. I would say in terms of attacking, they might look red here. The only one would be this Liverpool match, but Arsenal's defense hasn't been great. United can definitely be scored on. Same with Chelsea. Their defense doesn't look all that great. Even at home, they aren't that wonderful. So I would not really pay attention that much to this red here and think more in terms of how the teams have actually looked compared to what the fixture ranking is on there. Next forward is Roberto Firmino. 9.7 is a pretty low price tag to get into Liverpool's attack. He has done very well in the last few fixtures, particularly with Mane out. He tends to score more frequently in away matches, which is interesting, although he did do a little bit better here in their last home match. But typically speaking, he does better in away matches, but has 5 big chances total, as well as 6 shots on target, which is the most in the last 2 game weeks out of any player. And he has a goal in that time as well. Norwich away could be a great sign of him scoring. Watford away, Everton away, even against West Ham at home, Bournemouth at home, both are pretty poor defenses that he has a great chance of getting some goals in there. Last up for my position players is Troy Deeney. 2.3% ownership and a 6.3 is a really good differential up front. Compared to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he might be cheaper, but Deeney is definitely the better differential. Has a goal and an assist in the last 2 matches, 3 shots inside the box, as well as 2 shots on target in that time. So looking pretty good there. And their fixtures, again, might want to disregard this Manchester United one. He's, I believe, from my recollection, he's actually done fairly well against United. Brighton, you never know with Brighton whether they're going to be giving up goals or not. Liverpool's a tough one, but Crystal Palace, even Leicester has been known to give up a goal. So some decent fixtures going through the rest of this season. So he might be a good one for you to take a look at as well. All right, moving on to fixtures. The big thing is this winter break that has things all split up between the next 2 weekends. So this weekend is actually 4 matches. Then the following weekend is going to be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday with the rest of the matches. So it is really a bit of a mixed bag, and I think this is going to cause a lot of headaches for managers, FPL managers, and I think the big thing is taking a look at your captain's picks. And my personal, the way that I'm going to approach this, I think I'm actually going to captain Salah with KDB as my vice captain. It does kind of split it with KDB playing this weekend, Salah playing next weekend, but I like the idea of having a split captain no matter which way you go with it, just because I just kind of like that idea of thinking about flip-flopping the 2 weekends. That way you have something to look forward to. If a guy doesn't play, then the next guy should play. And I feel like both of those are players that should play in each weekend, particularly with that rest period in there. So even for Man City, they're going to get that rest period after their fixtures, while Liverpool is going to get that rest period before their fixture. And they already did skip out on they already had their players rested during the FA Cup for this week, so they should be good to go, which is the prime reason why I think Salah is the best captain pick. Some of the other ones you might consider would be Son, if you have him. A decent one there. Aguero here, so that's another good split that you have going on as well. Alright, so next thing is thinking ahead to some of the upcoming fixtures. Yeah, it looks like they do have it updated. So there are going to be some blanks. That is definitely something to consider. Watch out for your Arsenal players, Sheffield United, Man City, Aston Villa. So taking a look at, Lundstrom, who was already kind of on the fence whether he's going to be continuing to play. Grealish for Aston Villa, any of your Man City players, Aubameyang if you have him, Pepe, those kind of guys for Arsenal. The other big one are some of the blank game weeks coming up here. Game week 31 is the most likely one. Game week 34 will probably also have some blanks. And thinking ahead as far as double game weeks as well. Anytime there's a blank, you're going to have a double game week. So being prepared. So it might mean that you may not necessarily want to transfer out all of your players that are going to have blanks, but thinking ahead to how that's going to work out. The best place that I can point you is with Ben Crellin. So you can find him on Twitter at Ben Crellin, and it's BenCrellin. He has a fantastic spreadsheet. I'm not going to pull it up here. I want you to actually go there, pull it up, take a look. Make sure that you check that out yourself to see which fixtures are going to have potential blanks as well as potential double game weeks coming up ahead. Alright, the last thing before I head out here. Now again, I am not given anything, I'm not paid anything by Fantasy Football Scout, but just I like to promote them because that is where I get the majority of my statistics from. Great place to go for some fantastic articles, as well as their statistics. I just really love their members area. Lots of great stats that you can drill down, create your own stats, compare players, season tickers, great in there. So I really do like to promote them. Like as I said, I don't get paid anything for it. I just really enjoy what they have to offer. Alright, so one thing to consider are the top transfers in and top transfers out. One of the places I do like to try to check out the price change predictors sites to see who's predicted to drop or go up in price. It's up to you whether you like to do that. It's just kind of another point of reference, another statistic to consider. But some of the top players in are actually, Henderson is in here for Sheffield United. Interesting one considering their blank that's coming up. But Firmino, Jimenez, Son, Mane, definitely one of the top transfers out due to his injury. But Vardy and Lundstrom are interesting. Lundstrom primarily because he may be losing his place in the side. Vardy mainly because of his lack of form recently. So just some things to consider. If lots of people are dumping Vardy, he may be somebody that you might even want to consider just because of everybody else dropping him. It could become a differential for you. Okay, well, I think that's actually where I'm going to leave it for now. As always, I wish you all good luck and have fun.